It's day 2 of Reading Festival and I'm here with Nameless Ghoul of Ghost. How are you doing?
I'm just fine, thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah.
You're headlining one of the tents today.
Yeah.
Now, do you feel like your creativity is kind of stunted somehow when you're playing festivals? Because there's certain things you can do on a festival stage and certain things you can't. So.
Oh yeah, personally, I feel like it's a trailer for a movie, that kind of sense. So this is a trailer for Ghost. Obviously, it's a gig in itself, a real gig, but it's not the same thing as when we play like our own show. No.
So you think if anyone wants to get the true Ghost experience, really, they need to go and see you live on one of your own gigs, so they can get the whole impact.
Yes, I would say that too, yeah.
Now your album, it's doing so well in the charts, both here and in the rest of Europe. When you were writing it, did you think this is the one that's going to really translate well? Did you get that feeling, an instinct about it?
In a sense, yes, yeah, sure. But you never know, It's like it's hard to predict and everything. But I'd say so, yeah. And yeah.
I was reading some reviews. Some say it's the darkest one that you've done for a while. Others said it's the slickest one. Do you think they're fair kind of descriptions of the album?
A lot of the reviews are actually people's reviews on their own expectations, not so much about our album. So everything is true about it and nothing is true about it in a sense, So.
When you approach an album, do you sit down together and say, this is the thought process behind it, this is what we're going to do, this is the themes we want to cover, or do you literally just see what comes out of you as you go through the process?
We sit down. We are very, very, very sorted out in that sense. It's not so spontaneous. The actual music making per se is, but the ideas are not. They are thought out, very patterned. So, yeah.
Are you is it in your personality that you like things to be structured and planned? Or is it more just in the music you need that to happen?
I mean, every fucking band playing here today are pretentious, very pretentious. Everyone's very aware of themselves. Some like to pretend they're not, and some like to pretend they just woke up and what happened. Bullshit. I don't have anything against bands that are not pretentious and like wear masks and shit. Of course not. I love that shit. But we just think it's a little bit more honest to say, yeah, we're pretentious. We are very. So in that sense, yes, we are very thought out.
Now, obviously, you're known for your being theatrical and putting on a real show, but also your music being very theatrical in itself. Do you think there are any other bands around at the moment that do a similar thing, or do you think you're kind of an anomaly and you enjoy that?
No, we're not. I mean, there are so many different bands out there, but I am so bad at. I've got no overlook of the whole music scene. I'm very much into my little corner, which is these bits and pieces of everything. But the only masked band that I'm into is probably Daft Punk.
Really?
Yeah.
What is it about them that attracts you?
They're fucking awesome musicians and write great songs.
Yeah.
That's it. Simple as that.
Bands. Do you think that other generations had bands that were doing it a bit better than? Can you pick out any in particular that come to mind?
In what sense? I'm sorry.
That kind of bring the theatre and are not bland and are not.
Well, I'd say Alice Cooper for one, and obviously King Diamond and Merciful Fate in that sense, but I mean, in a sense, if you look at Queen and what Freddie Mercury did, he was very theatrical, not wearing a mask, unless he had a mustache, So. No, I don't know, man. It's just some do it, some don't. I mean, some like to perform and be this character on stage, even though they're looking themselves and everything. Whereas in some bands just go up there, Bob Dylan sits with his guitar, and I love that too, but there's a difference.
When I was reading up about all of your interests and influences, I was reading like Toto, Chicago, Boston. So some members of the band cited them as people they listened to when they were younger. Are there any more maybe pop acts that you think are more inspiring to you?
Oh yeah, I mean, pretty much everything you can come up with. It's not like I buy an album by an artist and think that's my favorite, or I have full catalogs of everything that everyone did. I listen to music. I mean, it's not about the fucking genre. It's about what I like, and I happen to like a lot of shit. So I could name 100. Right? it doesn't come across well if I say 3 of them, because that wouldn't be true. It would be hundreds. So.
To me, there's no such thing as a guilty pleasure. If you like it, then that's.
I mean, obviously it's easy to say that, but everyone's got their guilty pleasures, because some of the shit I'm listening to I wouldn't want to say. It's like mostly to myself. I'm like, I couldn't be listening to this shit, but then again, I find myself do it every time, like now and again.
Some music is so catchy, you can't get away from it. It just kind of osmosis. It's in there, isn't it? Now, I was reading somewhere else about all of you have an interest in musicals. Have you seen any musicals lately at the theatre? Nothing.
No.
Do you not have time to do things like that, or?
I could do that, but I'd rather do something else.
What is it like consuming your time? Is it mainly just press, like getting the record out there? What do you do when you're not in work mode?
At home? I mean, it's a lot of promotional work, obviously, and planning for what's coming, planning for what we could possibly do in a few years if things go our way, or not, rehearsing, listen to music, eat, sleep, fuck, the regular.
The normal stuff.
Yeah.
Now, this interview's going out in maybe a couple of weeks, and by then we'll have some news about a tour. So can you tell me anything about that in terms of production, what you're going to deliver on that tour, hope to deliver?
We are looking at enhancing the show a bit more than the previous ones, and we're not exactly sure on how it's going to turn out yet, because we're still putting the pieces together and stuff, but it's going to be, just like we took a step up from the first album to the second, it's going to be another step, So
it's going to be a spectacle, whatever it is.
Oh yeah.
Now, I was looking at some of the artwork, and in my dissertation at university, I was into Metropolis and 1920s Art Deco stuff. Is that what?
That's the whole idea.
Yeah. So is dystopia and that sort of thing something that really consumes you and you think about a lot?
No, well, for this album, yes, very much. We wanted it to be set in a time and place, a future, a vision of the future, but a vision from the 20s, since Star Trek isn't so sexy, So that was the whole idea, to set it in 20s New York Art Deco style, very decadent, all spirituality's gone, more or less, because we have machines, we have money, we have, it's people are finally gods themselves or whatnot. But maybe not, then again.
Just kind of pondering that, I guess. Yeah. Okay, well, I think you're very in demand today, so I'll let you go. But tell me, what can we expect tonight from this set?
We will, I don't know. You can expect a trailer for a Ghost show, or you can expect a live gig from Ghost at a festival. They're different, separate from what we usually do, but
It's a shame, actually. You'll be on the same time as Metallica, will you?
No, we're not. We end at the same time they start, so.
Well, that's it, because I know they're fans of your work, aren't they?
Yeah.
They'd probably quite like to come and watch you, I imagine.
Yeah, but I have a hard time seeing they would do that today, because of the distance and of the, they need some space for themselves if they're going to come watch us, because, obviously they cannot stand in the crowd, right?
Yeah, can you imagine?
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for talking to me, and best of luck with everything. Congrats on the album as well.